Congressman Alan Grayson represents Central Florida, including Orlando, parts of Orlando where we are tonight. Just hours after the shooting, he tweeted, "Words cannot express the horror, pain, and sadness that we feel about this terrible loss." Congressman Grayson joins me now here in Orlando. You know, Senator Nelson was with me just a few moments ago. You woke up this morning and you saw this. You were awoken, I'm sure, in the early hours of the morning when this happened.
Yes.
I mean, could you even comprehend what you were being told?
No, but I think in retrospect, it's shocking to me. The most shocking element of this is that one human being with one weapon can kill 50 people in a matter of 2 or 3 minutes. And that's disturbing to me. It is way too easy in America today to kill lots of people very quickly. And we have to think hard about whether we're going to allow that. The weapon that was used today was a weapon that was illegal for 10 years in America. And when the assault weapons ban lapsed, it became legal and is now legal in 44 states. One of those states where it's illegal is Connecticut. Connecticut went through the Sandy Hook tragedy, where a couple of dozen children were killed very quickly, until today the second worst mass shooting in history, now sadly the third worst. And I hope that in the same way that the people of Connecticut stepped up and made sure that that could never happen again, I hope that we'll do the same.
And what do you understand at this time from what you're being told? What happened? How did he choose this nightclub? Why did he choose this nightclub? Why did he drive 2 hours to do this here? Just on that issue, putting aside for a moment that we don't yet know what mix this was of terror and hate.
Well, the simple answer is that it was homophobia. It was a hate crime, according to his own father. His father said that earlier today, if I understand the report correctly, that he saw 2 men kissing recently. He got very upset by that, so he went and killed 50 of them. And that is the saddest thing imaginable. That is so deeply disturbed and demented that it's hard to describe. It's hard to believe that's even part of human nature.
You're right about that, and it certainly is a hate crime. Do you think it is also Islamic terrorism when you think about the fact that he had 2 investigations by the FBI, both of which, by the way, they resolved? They didn't see any reason to keep following or asking questions of him, but they did exist. They were both relating to his relationship possibly with ISIS. They saw him as a sympathizer. And, of course, he called in the early hours of this morning and pledged allegiance to ISIS about 20 minutes into the shooting. Was this also Islamic radicalism?
Well, it was terrorism in the literal sense, because it was meant to terrorize people, not just the 50 people who died, not just the 53 people who were injured, but basically everybody who's part of the LGBT community. He wanted to inflict terror on them, make them afraid to go to a place like this down the block, make them afraid to live their lives in peace. But we are the land of the free and the home of the brave, and we're not so easily shaken.
So what happens now from here in terms of your understanding of this investigation? Are they getting the information that they need right now?
Yes, I just spoke to the FBI about this a few moments ago. What's happening is they're doing a very thorough investigation in every conceivable respect. They're checking his phone records, they're checking his computer, they're checking all of his personal items, seeing if he left a note behind explaining what he intended. Also, above all, checking to make sure that he acted alone. The police early this morning described this as a lone wolf attack. All the evidence up to this point suggests that that's probably the case, but we have to make sure of that for the sake of people's safety.
Right, and in terms of that, at this time, are they still thinking that he was operating completely alone? Obviously, you had these reports of somebody with an arsenal, a car full of weapons out at the Los Angeles Gay Pride Parade. They were able to apprehend that person before anything horrific could possibly happen. No links between the two at this time, but is it possible that there could have been some sort of coordination or someone else involved with this?
Well, anything's possible, but there's no evidence of it. At this point, there's no evidence of anything other than he acted on the basis of his ideology, but not on the basis of coordination with anyone else. His ideology of hatred, specifically hatred for gays, hatred of the West, and so on. And that's a terrible, terrible shame. To think that so many innocent people had to lose their lives, that's one of the hallmarks of terrorism, this idea that everybody is considered to be a, quote, combatant, no distinction between innocent people like these victims and everyone else.
Now, Congressman, the imam in his mosque is devastated, as are others in the Muslim community that he interacted with. But this was a young man that we understand was going to mosque, the same mosque since 2003, in recent years, very regularly, 3-4 times a week. He had been there as recently as 2 days ago. Yes. Is this something that somebody could have noticed, could have seen coming, that there was the risk of this person doing something horrific in that community?
Yes, but we're limited by the Constitution. You know, there's no preventative detention in the United States. You can't lock people up for their thoughts or what you think they might do. We also can't discriminate on the basis of race, religion, or any other indicia other than your actions. And the fact is that his actions did not give the FBI enough to work with in order to lock him up or even keep him on the watch list. He was very clever in what he did. He didn't give any clues, any hints, and therefore he got away with it. But the fact of the matter is that in the land of the free and the home of the brave, inevitably there will be tragedies like this as long as people like him have hatred in their hearts.
All right. Congressman Grayson, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
If I may just say this one thing further.
Yeah.
If he were who he was, and he was not able to buy a weapon that shoots off 700 rounds in a minute, a lot of those people would still be alive. That's exactly right. If somebody like him had nothing worse to deal with than a Glock pistol, which was his other weapon today, he might have killed 3 or 4 people and not 50. It's way too easy to kill people in America today, and we have to think long and hard about what to do about that.
You're right about that, and thank you very much.